Because of that, I was able to coach football for 40 years. 36 of those years were right here at Kalamazoo College. As I started coaching football in the 70s, and I saw a great evolution in the game and how it's played structurally all the way up until 2017, and a great evolution in the game and how it's taught, the film work and all the things that you guys can do. Because of that length of time that I was here, I feel I have certain permission to have strong opinions about players when you compare them with one another, and I've have strong opinions about who should be in the Hall of Fame. The guy I get to introduce today to you, and when you look at him, he's the finest linebacker in the entire history of the college. He stepped into a situation here where he sort of had a legacy to fill. It was quickly becoming the linebacker university of the league. He had to fill Brad Haverdick's shoes, who was the linebacker before him. Brad became all-league, and he also became the MVP of the league. He succeeded Eric Gerwin. Eric Gerwin was the middle linebacker, and he was the MVP of the league. So here comes Jeremy, and his freshman year, he had to sit behind Brant, but he did a great job of watching and learning from Brant, but he was thrown in there in his sophomore year. Well, I knew he wasn't an emotional weakling. I thought we had a dog with a thirst for the hunt now. We just needed to get more out of him because these kids around him, many of these guys were older. And he was taking charge of this group. So it gets to be his junior year, and this turns out to be a defense at another level. In my mind, it's the greatest defense that ever was here. Jeremy took charge of that. What's the difference that makes him the greatest ever is that the other guys have a certain amount of size as well. Jeremy has size, and he can run, and he probably has a little more punch than the other two previous. But he began to affect the other team by doing things. And he would, like a quarterback, they have to control things, the middle linebacker, but he did a lot of dummy calls, moved himself around, and it got to be really important, I think, when Kalamazoo ran on the field before a game, that they identified where number 33 was. The next year, the football team wasn't as good, but Jeremy did not slack off one bit. I remember being at the all-league meeting and sitting around, and all the coaches, they vote for the all-league team and the MVP of the league, and Jeremy Vanisacker becomes the MVP of the league. And I remember them all looking at me and said, "That's one hell of a football player." Now, in addition to that, what makes him special, I think he was a great teammate. He's even a better person. To illustrate what a fine person he really is, he makes time for people. When he comes up here, just remember, this is the best linebacker that's ever played here, great teammate, and a Hall of Fame person.
Van Nickert. First, I'd like to thank the college, the athletic department, and Coach Sordo and the board for getting me up here. I really do appreciate it. It's quite the honor. We had a heck of a coaching staff when I played. Coach Nickert, you are a man's man, and I admire you in more ways than you know. Coach Brian Kuhn, he found me, he got me excited about this place, he brought me here, and for that I'm grateful. And then Coach Rogers, his daughter's representing him tonight, and his other daughter's babysitting my daughter. So you guys are like family. To my teammates, I mean, I'm not here without you, right? I appreciate it. As you get older, you appreciate it so much more, right? It's truly a brotherhood, and we had some good times, we had some good teams. So when I was in 4th grade, I ran cross country, and my stepdad, Keith, may rest in peace, he urged me that I should play football. And he was also very active in my youth sports career, and for both of those things, I'm very grateful. I went to a few different high schools, and we moved between my 8th and 9th grade year, and I was heading in to a different school district, and I wasn't sure if I was going to play football. This time it was my mom that said, hey, you know, it's a good way to meet people, pretty good football, and if nothing else, do it for me. My mom was really that example in my life of hard work and perseverance. So she raised 3 kids. My sister Jessica's here, 6 years younger, and then made a little brother, born with congenital heart defects and some developmental delays. And you know, life was going to be a little bit harder on him. But my mom raised us. And as she went through her career on a high school diploma, she realized, well, she needed to do more. And so it took her 10 years, but she got her associates while raising those 3 kids. And for that example, Mom, I'm very grateful. And to my dad, he wanted to reinforce the killer instinct. I think I got that. And he always tackled new endeavors with enthusiasm. And from that, I learned nothing great is ever accomplished without excitement. So before I go, I want to leave you with the 2 principles and how I try and live my life. And the first principle is to maximize your potential. My little brother, he's been passed now almost 10 years to the day. And I remember I was a 19-year-old kid in my dorm room, and I had a picture of him in a hospital bed. His first heart surgery was a couple days old. I flipped that 5x7 picture over, and I wrote in blue ink, "You owe it to him to maximize your potential." Now, I later adopted that a bit later to, you owe it to those who cannot to maximize your potential, okay? There are people in this world who cannot, who don't have it, don't have our talent, don't have our privileges, don't have our backing, don't have whatever. And I do believe that we owe it to ourselves, we owe it to our family, our society, our country, whatever you have, but we owe it to this life. Do everything we can to maximize everything we have and to reach our potential. Second principle that I try to live my life by is a little newer. It is to be happy and enjoy the journey. I met my wife again 10 years ago, and she was newly diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. And she, for the first 3 years, was in and out of surgeries, in and out of the hospital for complications for those surgeries, but yet she remained the most positive person that I've ever met. She has great parents, but she never wanted anybody to feel bad for her. And believe me, she's the chief fun officer in our household. And she wants to make sure that she raises her goals to raise a happy family. Right? So I appreciate her and all her support as I try and maximize my potential. And with that, I'm very honored to be up here. Thank you so much to everybody who got me up here. Go Hornets, be out.